I'm going to give you some tips on how to access your Akashic records. When we are getting into that level of consciousness, we need to be in gamma brainwave states. So researching about that would be very helpful. So that is when we are deep within a meditative state. Now, as somebody who is neurodivergent, when I first started accessing my own, it was very difficult to sit in the silence with my thoughts. I had a lot of PTSD and trauma and self-limiting beliefs, catastrophizing, activated central nervous system, and so still meditation is not always preferable for neurodivergent persons, and active meditations are great. This is when you are doing something that helps you get into the flow state, going out in nature, painting, coloring, doing any type of dancing, just whatever makes you feel really good, where you can kind of detach from your human and the stresses that are currently happening. So that's a great way to teach yourself how to tiptoe into still meditations eventually. Now, the second part of that is doing guided meditations. And I know that when I first started those, I would fall asleep when I was listening. And so we need to be sitting up and in a chair with a pillow behind you and listening for as long as we can. And also setting a timer on your phone. Sometimes when you're neurodivergent, what is time? It is very elusive, and we get a little trepidatious about doing things because we're worried it's going to take forever, we're going to lose track of time. And so do a guided meditation and set a timer for however long it is. So if you do fall asleep, your alarm will wake you up. Now, with these guided meditations, I started with children's meditations, going to Unicorn Land and Dragon Land and Space Pirates, because you have to have a vast imagination to be able to access these whimsical, fantastical things within the Akashic records. And the records themselves are helping you step outside of yourself to see yourself in a higher perspective. Kind of like if you were going to get advice from a friend because they're not in your situation. This is the same as you stepping out and looking at yourself. Then when you get above that level is when we start accessing different dimensions and different frequencies and different planetary systems. And so in doing children's guided meditations, which you can do with your inner children, which is a form of timeline healing, but when you're doing these inner children guided meditations, you're opening up your imaginative scape for more expansive journeys that you can go on later in your records. Once I did the inner child guided meditations, and I started doing ones with spirit animals or shamanic journeying, whatever calls to you, okay? Reiki, light language. And then I was able to sit in silent meditation, because when you get up into gamma brainwave states, you are able to detach from your human incarnation momentarily. So again, you can get in that higher observation deck, but that way your ego and all the distortion lenses and filters and trauma and PTSD is not skewing your vision of perceptions. And when I am doing readings for other people, or even myself, what it feels like when I go deep into that meditative state, it's almost like I am taken out of this incarnation temporarily and out of this time and space. It feels like I'm putting a pause on everything. I'm still in my body, but I'm astral projecting within to these different places and spaces. Totally safe, 100% safe. I want to say that I have not had any type of wild negative experiences. You have to understand that you are a sovereign being. You have autonomy over your energy field. You get to decide what kind of experiences you have and what type of beings or spirit guides or spirit animals get to come into your energy field and interact with you. And so when I am deep within the meditative state, I'm able to hear things so much more clearly and perceive things and feel things, and everything is made out of frequencies. Okay, so that's why you have to be kind of in that stillness moment within that meditative state so that you can perceive them and follow them to where you are trying to find, either within yourself or within other people. Sometimes the information is coming through in a very soft whisper. Not everybody's higher self or guides talk super loudly. Some of them do. Some of them, it's like you're talking to another person in a different room and you're like, what did you say? And you have to ask them questions so that you can bring them closer to your consciousness or closer to your energy field. And so that's why all the spiritual teachers say, hey, meditation is so important. But again, I was having a difficult time with that at the beginning. So the way that I trained myself, Joe Dispenza is a great person to research for this. He talks about how to regulate your brainwave states. But the way that I trained myself was doing active meditations, like we talked about, being in the flow state, inner children meditations, guided meditations, training myself to stay awake while I'm going either deep within my subconscious or up into the gamma brainwave states. And that is how I learned to do what I do today. And if you have any more questions about the Akashic Records, I would love to hear them in the comments. If it's your first time meeting me, my name is Sage. I am a spiritual mentor helping you connect to your multidimensionality, access higher levels of consciousness, and rediscover your ancient magic within. So remember to give a follow for more content like this, and I hope you have a super magical day.